or I'm gonna cry. All right, let's get this party started, Dante.
hmm
And I know we're coming in on a Friday. Good afternoon. Hey, Courtney, how's it going? Courtney's next, so the pressure's gonna be on. Awesome. All right, a few quick things, guys. I know that this is day 5 of Rock the Year presented by Juicebox. I just want to say thank you guys so much for partaking in this week. I know like everybody's busy, so it's hard to sometimes like leave your desk and leave the calls and leave like the sales and all the stuff that you know that you need to be doing as a recruiter to be successful, but coming in and spending your time to get learned up, trained up, motivated up to go crush this next quarter. I am so grateful that every single one of you guys have spent time with us, whether today, if this is your first session, or if you've been part of many of the other sessions throughout the week. Because here, these speakers are literally laying it all down to help give you guys the best possible information. And I was like, I'm so excited about sharing Dante with you guys. He's one of those like people that I believe more recruiters need to get around, need to learn from. And it's not just the like he's cracked the code when it comes to billing. He's cracked the code on actually teaching and duplicating that with his team. And he's like literally coming and sharing exactly what he's doing with his team and how you can do the exact same thing with your recruiting business, whether you're a recruiter or with people that you are training yourself. So I am so grateful on people like Dante just sharing the information. And I'm blown away by some of the people that, and he'll probably talk some of the numbers, but there are some like people in his firm that are just absolutely crushing it. And real quick, Dante, you guys are a remote first firm, right? Too?
Yeah, we're a remote company.
And like, they've found a way to crack the big biller code for a remote first company, and now where not everybody's in the office. So, Dante, I'm going to turn it over to you. Floor is yours. I'll be behind the scenes, but all yours, sir.
Yeah, thank you for that introduction, Ben. It's always good to chat with you and, everyone here. Happy Friday. It's been exciting to hear all the speakers here throughout the week. Some great speakers, well-respected people in the industry. So it's an honor to be here. But first, before we get started, I want to give a shout out to Ben. Ben Mina has been throwing up some good events, and I've been here as his podcast since 3, 4 years ago. And I was telling him, before this meeting, is like I've had a lot of people reach out to me through his podcast. Um, he interviewed one of our recruiters as well too, Kaylin, and she had a lot of people reach out to her as well too. So it just shows how this has made an impact to a lot of people, and the value that you're creating here for the community. So good stuff, Ben, and keep it up. I know that the next few years are going to be crucial for you, and it's going to be great. But yeah, I mean, before we kind of get started, you know, recruiting and billing and everything. I feel like a lot of people, something that I really want to touch base before I go into my presentation about becoming a 500K plus biller and so on. I feel like, with technology, AI, and everything, there's a lot of different things that are coming up, and that many recruiters, especially me, I get questions all the time like, what are you guys doing for automation? What are you guys doing for artificial intelligence? And ATSs, platforms, and so on. And there's so many of them. I lose count. I have demos probably 3, 4 times a week with different ones, and I'm always just interested in learning. But if you go back to it, the fundamentals of recruiters are easy. It's building good relationships with good people, nurturing those relationships, uh, becoming subject matter experts, in your industry. That's always something that you have to follow through. Uh, and finding the pain point for every client and every candidate you talk to. It's not just about selling your services. Find the pain points within that, because that's how you're going to solve people problems there. And one last one that a lot of people, fail to do is just do the hard work consistently. It's, to build 500K, you have to work hard. It's not just, okay, I'm gonna send 100 emails, hopefully for something to stick, then I'll follow up. So now you have to send emails, you have to do cold calls, you have to follow up, you have to have a game plan for that. It's tough. It's a lot of work. And every time I go through the data and I analyze people's KPIs and what they're doing on a weekly basis, we see something consistently. People that have spent most time on the phone, people have that are usually reaching out to the people the most has is always going to be the most successful there. So I do want to leave you guys for that. So now, before we get started, I want to hear from everyone right now. What building goals do you have right now? Because I want to hear from everyone else, and I'm gonna lay it out of how we discuss here within our company what their billing goals. So if you're trying to build 500K, it also depends on the industry that you're working on. If you're trying to build 600K, we're gonna have to break down those numbers. And I'll show you how we break down those numbers here so we could help you get there. So Elliot, 600K. That's good. That's awesome. Good to hear. That's a huge goal, and we'll break it down so you guys could break it down on your own as well too. So let me present this real quick, and I'll take it here. All right, perfect. So today we're going to go over the step-by-step framework and what we use. I'm going to go very detailed, and there's a few templates that I'm going to be giving away as well too, to everyone. It's a seven-step sales process that we use and a hot pitch. It's something that I've learned from some of our recruiters that came in that work very well, and it will show you the step-by-step of how to do that as well too on a daily basis. That you could do 15 to 20K outreach on your own. But here you go. So just a little bit about myself for those of you guys that don't know who I am and our company here, Tiello. I co-founded Tiello with Simon Doherty back in 2019. We were actually D1 soccer players. We met on the pitch, and then we did an internship together selling life insurance. And after that, we just became really close. We were both business minded and everything. After that, just like everyone else, most people, I had no idea what recruiting was. And my first job out of college was with Aerotech, one of the largest staffing companies, and I was a commercial recruiter there. And I ended up being a commercial recruiting and engineering and the construction side for them. And I did very well the first year there. Then I got headhunted to be a corporate recruiter. I got the opportunity to work with agencies now. And once I was working there, I would come home and tell Simon, like, man, these fees are high. Like, we're paying out 20, 30, $40,000 fees to agencies to find us people like a resume. And he was like, they get paid $20,000 just to find a resume for you? Like, yes. And he was like, we should start a recruitment company. We had no idea how to start a company at all. But we decided to kind of take a shot at it. During that time, me and Simon would go visit. My family has a custom home building business, and we would go visit different job sites. And there was a constant problem there is all these firms were struggling to find good talent. And when we had that idea of starting a recruitment company, we decided to tackle the construction sector, and that's how we formed the AEC industry. First 3 years were more tailored towards the commercial architecture, engineering, commercial industry. And we've been able to take a stance. We founded it in mid 2019. We did fairly well. Then we hired our first two employees. We decided to just reinvest everything into our company. So we hired our first two employees in 2020, and we were a break over 1 million. And then at that time, we decided to get an office as well too, but COVID came along. And that's when we decided to get rid of our office in 2023 and go fully remote. And we were a team of 12 recruiters. Simon and I have been able to step out of the production side. A lot of people get stuck on the business side and trying to build, and not really focus on the bigger picture. But we wanted to do that. So we took a cut, and it hurt our revenue, of course, because, we were big billers within the company, but we were okay with it because we knew that it was going to take long term to get that back, and it did. We were able to get people up and running. We coached people. We got people through those roles, and we were able to get past a 3 million in gross profit then. And now, 2025, we're a team of 20 recruiters. We recently brought in around 6, 7 people. We're looking to bring in around 10 more people this year. And we have two recruiting managers, a couple sourcers now that I'll kind of explain why we're hiring sourcers now to kind of help on each other's desks. And, we have a very aggressive goal this year. We've done so many things wrong throughout the last few years, and now we want to figure out how do we scale that? How do we duplicate that? And that's just by bringing in good people and so on. Here, we have a baseline for hiring here for TL. This was a picture of us, and last December we've added probably 6 more people since then, and we're all over the nation as well too. We're a fully remote company. We fly in everyone in the summer, and in the winter just to meet with everyone. And we get to talk, we get to coach, we get to do fun things as well too. But right now, we're looking to hire driven, hungry, motivated individuals, people that believe in our and embody our core values as a company. Recruiters who want to compete. I think that's one of the best things we've done so far is that we hire people that who want to compete, who want to work hard, and it's been one of the best things that's helped us kind of expand and bring in better people, um, and so on. But that's enough about me. Let's get into what we're going to go over today. And first we're going to go over building a recruiter deal box, and I go more into detail into that, market research, how to win new clients, setting alerts, 500K day to day, knowing your numbers and consistencies that we see on 500K billers. And at the end, if we have time, we'll do some Q&As as well. Oh, there you go. So here's a brief overview. In the next slide, I'll go more into detail of that. But whenever we bring in a recruiter, we want to build them a deal box. We don't want them to go, okay, just, hey, come in, go find new business. We want to get them dialed in on what they're going to be recruiting on. And some of the things that we go into is a target market, geographic focus, ideal client profile. That's one of the most important things. Ideal candidate profile as well, keyword focuses, and examples of companies that would be good companies for themselves as well, too. And here you'll see the components of a recruiter deal box, and anyone can use this as well too. If you want a copy of it, reach out to me. I'm more than happy to share with you so you kind of get it within your sector. I know we all recruit in different sectors, but I think this could be used for anything. Right here, the first one, target market. We want to focus on a sector and an industry. If it's engineering, IT, finance, pick one. You don't need to do engineering and finance. You don't need to do those. I know some people like to be more generalized, and that's okay. But we've seen that when we really focus on one thing, we're able to expand and go into different sectors as well too. So different focuses there. We also go to a niche. We like to pick a specific niche. We like to pick two because sometimes one is not enough depending on the industry and the niche. Maybe we pick two, and some kind of go with each other. Like we have a roofing, and roofing goes well with flooring. They kind of go cross combined. So that's why we pick two. Whenever we get someone that's good at sales and flooring, maybe a roofing company might pick them up as well too. So it just kind of works for us, and you could do it as well too. Geographic focus. You could recruit nationwide, but if you get tailored into one specific focus or region there, I think you're going to have a lot more success. And we keep it that way just because of recruiters. We want them to be subject matter experts within that specific niche or whatever they go. So we want to make sure that they stick to that and they follow it there. Secondary locations to target, states. Right now, if you're gonna pick a region, we want you to pick certain states as well too. So, if you're going after North Carolina, South Carolina, those are perfect. We have a couple of recruiters that do very well there. If you have California and Arizona, that's great as well too. The only thing that will change in this, and it's a good problem, is now we've had clients that we do a really good job in one location. For example, one of my clients, when I was running a full desk, I did a really good job here in California. I was able to meet them. I was able to meet them in person. I was able to shake hands. I was able to, go to dinners with them. I was able to go to projects with them. I nurtured the relationship there, and I became good friends and good people with them. And I think that's one of the things that had me the most success there. But they asked me to open up a San Jose office. Then they asked me to open up a Texas office. Then they asked me to open up an Arizona office. And little by little, I, built north of $1 million there just with one client in 4 years. And it was insane. And that was just one client. And that was just by nurturing that relationship, doing a really good job there and so on. But sometimes we kind of have to go a little more expand and nurture those relationships instead of having millions of clients. And that's why I like picking to a specific location because if you do a good job, you will expand. Now, ideal client profile, it's something very important to follow because we've seen our bread and butter with companies that we want to tackle are 10 to 200 employees. We do a lot of business with some other companies that have 500, thousands of employees, but they usually have their internal teams, and it's tougher to crack them unless you get a good contact or anything. But we do have some recruiters right now that are billing six figures with, well, big companies. But it did take time to crack them. They do ask a lot of questions and they do get hit up a lot. And if you don't do a good job, they'll move on to someone else as well. Revenue range is important as well too, just depending on the industry. For us, we've been seeing that anyone that's doing, $1 million to 100 million is kind of the ballpark, especially with construction. You could go into the higher numbers. Companies that are doing under 1 million, it's a little bit harder to do. They're usually asking for lower fees, they're usually asking for breaks, so it's kind of hard to do business with them. They don't really have the budget for it. So we've seen anything from 1 to 10, 10 to 100 million is the ballpark. Of course, we work with companies that are bigger as well too. So this is something that you kind of have to figure out, especially in your industry, what's good, what's not, and kind of go with that. Um, Ideal client profile, job titles to target. This is huge. I think you should pick 3 to 5 because in the next few slides we'll go into why this is important. But if you're always recruiting for superintendents, if you're always recruiting for estimators, if you're recruiting for service techs, and you have those picked out already, you want to get really, really good at finding those people there. And so once you get really good with that and you build your ideal client profile as well too, if you have one candidate, one superintendent that has 3 years of experience with one company that's doing really good work, and you have two or three, four clients within your niche or recruiter deal box, you're able to send them out to them. And now you have your clients picking, you have your clients competing against that. Sometimes what we do now is we get a really good candidate and we're like, this is a stud. They're going to get hired. So what do? We call one of our clients that we have a good relationship with, hey, say, hey, John, I got a really good superintendent from 3 years. He's looking because he's traveling too far and he's within the budget. Would you like to chat with him? If not, I'm gonna go send them. I'm gonna present them to another person because I think they're really good, but I wanted to give them to you first. And trust me, some clients, once you build that relationship, are so, they'll move on that candidate. They're like, hey, thanks for thinking of me. Yeah, I want to interview them. And this is how you kind of start building those, and it just worked out really, really well. So make sure you're always building those relationships and you stick to those candidates because now, even for us, we have certain recruiters in different niches now that we find one good estimator and we have 3 to 5 interviews for that estimator. And sometimes it's tough because our clients will have to fight for them. But depending on the relationship you build and depending on the candidate as well too, you got to make sure that you kind of play that out. But that's the best problem to have because if you're working in, let's say, Oklahoma, and you find one good PM, or you got one client there, well, once you recruit for them, what are you going to do next? Now you have to start all over, start from scratch, and go find something else. So this is why we kind of stick to this. One other thing that we do is keyword focuses. Depending on the sector and whatever your industry, the keywords are very important. So, for us, if you're working with superintendents and are doing electrical, a keyword focus for us would be low voltage. So whenever we're sourcing for new jobs or new candidates, that's going to be a keyword. You want to make sure you have a list of 5 because those are always going to be in your search and those are always going to be things that you're going to search as well too. And last one, example of companies. If you've done business with 10 different companies, just look at those 10 companies. What do they have in common? What companies are you doing more business with? What do they have in common? If they have, 50 employees or so and they're doing around 10 million in revenue, then go find more companies that are doing that. That's how you're going to have a lot more success than just sticking to finding random companies. So we always want to have like a layout of what companies we want to tackle and example companies, your ideal clients you want to go after, and get more of those. After we have our recruiters kind of fill their recruiter deal box, we want to know why behind each component. And this is important because if we have some recruiters that will come in and or that we interview and will say, hey, I want to do X, Y, and Z. Why? Oh, because I heard it's a really good industry and there's a lot of money into it. Okay, have you done it before? No, I just heard. It's like, no, no, no. We want to make sure that you have a good reason to why you're doing that. Some of our recruiters will recruit in a specific sector because they have an interest in it, because their family member once did it, because they have worked on some roles in the past, and if that works, then yeah, we're gonna go after that. Um, Now, this is the one of the most important things too. Do the components of the deal box match your goals to becoming a subject matter expert within a niche? And this is going to be very important because our recruiters are living and breathing this. They're going to go to conventions. They're going to talk about this with every single person. They're going to learn. They're going to be super experts with this. And I think that's very, very important. So if they're not interested and they're not interested in learning and learning the language and everything, then it's probably not the right niche for them. For us, we have some recruiters that are obsessed with the industry. They'll be like, hey, I saw this article about X, Y, and Z. Or hey, I saw that they're having a convention about this. And they want to go to them. We'll fly them out and they meet people, they talk about it, and it's just the best. So you have to know how to become a subject matter expert there. Now, is there enough business and demand within the deal box, or do we have to open it up a bit? That's huge as well too, because if there's not enough demand, let's say we're recruiting a small state, we might have to do maybe 2 or 3 states just for the business. There, sometimes our recruiters might want to do a larger state, too many large states, and if it's too broad, we don't want to do that. And that goes to the fourth one. Is the deal box too broad? Do we have to dial it in a bit more? Sometimes, our recruiters want to do specific states, specific sectors, and so on. And sometimes we kind of have to nail it down a little bit. I know, like general construction, people would be like, I want to do commercial construction. Okay, well, what kind? All right, I want to work on light industrial. I want to work on office buildings. I want to work on hotels. Okay, well, now we're getting somewhere. We kind of have to dial in and expand on that. This is something that we want to do here with every single recruiter. Market research. After this, we're going to step into doing some market research. We're not going to say, hey, go out and find clients within your recruiter deal box. We're going to set you up for success. We want to make sure that you know where and how you're going to be finding these candidates. So first thing you want to do is like, what jobs are being posted? What jobs are you frequently seeing your target clients post? This is something you want to be aware of. You want to kind of see if they're posting a lot of those, where they're posting a lot of those. That goes into the second one. What are these roles in demand at the moment? Can we stay ahead of the trends? And I know recruiting, especially for us, we had due to the election and everything, still there's a lot of tariffs and steel. So, we're looking at what's going to happen. We're asking our clients what's going to happen now since things are changing. Is there going to be more demand? Is there going to be less demand? So you always have to stay ahead of those trends. It depends on industry. It depends on the sector you're in. You always want to stay on top of it too, because that's definitely going to, hurt your desk, or that's going to help your desk as well too. So you always have to be kind of learning about that and asking too. The best way to ask too is talk to your hiring managers, talk to your clients. Hey, so what's going to happen now? Are you guys going to see more business? And trust me, they love talking about this. It's just, if you get to talk to them, they know that you care and you're interested, and you're going to learn a lot more that way as well too. Also, what jobs are posted and not getting a lot of candidate traction? We have the opportunity to kind of see what jobs are being posted and who's not getting a lot of traction. And we always kind of keep that too. And the very last one, just because companies are not posting their jobs, that does not mean they are hiring. And this is a huge one, because a lot of people will say, I go on Indeed, I go on LinkedIn and I find jobs and I chase them, then I call them and I have no success, or I have some success. And we always tell, well, have you tried the companies that don't have anything? One of our recruiters, she did, we'll go over it, but she did a, a, a business development outreach campaign recently, and she had a really good candidate. He was a rock star in a location that we're not very familiar with, but we decided, okay, well, let's do some market research. Let's find 10 companies there. Let's find 2 to 3 hiring managers, and let's see, what traction we get. And I think she had 3 people reply to her because the candidate was really good. And the company that we ended up moving forward with, they had no jobs posted. They had not ever worked with, they were not working with recruiters as well too. And they were growing multiple locations. And our recruiter got with them. They were really tough in the beginning, but she was a market subject matter expert, in another industry, but she let her know, hey, our company, we're experts in this. This is something that I'm working towards to, and she was able to win the client by being honest. And the client signed our agreement, and I believe they're going through the final stages of the interview now with one of the candidates. But now we were able to get a 250,000 plus in business with a client that did not post their jobs online, that had not been working with any agencies, just through a good candidate that we were able to do. But what did we do? We did the research. We found 10 companies with a 2 to 3 hiring managers. We wrote a very detailed message, and we were able to get traction there. That's where, a lot of people need to do a lot more of the legwork there, because it definitely works, and you have to be able to kind of do those extra steps to find those clients there. Next, what candidates are in your pipeline? You know, what candidates are open to new opportunities right now? I know if you have LinkedIn Recruiter, you're able to see who's open to new opportunities. I think that's a huge tool, and we utilize it a lot. So it's something that we want to know who's in our pipeline as well. What A plus candidates do you have at your disposal? If you have an ATS, I would suggest for you to kind of start saving candidates that are A plus in your pipeline, even if they're not interested. Because if you build good relationships with these candidates, it's not now, maybe 6 months, maybe a year later, they're going to be interested. And if you keep following up and you have a good process on touching base with them, they're going to think about you whenever they're looking to make a move. So you should always have those and always keep in touch with them, because recruiting sometimes takes a while to get good candidates, but once you got this A plus candidates, can you use them? And if they give you the green light, where can you place them? Where can you show your clients that what you're working with, and they'll open up a lot of doors for you. What are you doing to stay proactive with candidate flow? This is something very, very important. And some of the things that we do, which I'll touch base here in the next few slides, is alerts. We're always constantly posting jobs for what we're looking for all the time, which increases our candidate flow. And we do a lot of different things, but we always want to be proactive with that, not always just headhunting. We always want to be proactive with anything we do. Fun tip. 71% of workers say they're open to new opportunities, according to HR, and that's something that's huge, because we always go. I know a lot of recruiters always go to people that open up, that just updated their resume, or that are open to new job opportunities. But hey, start cold calling people that are not, and this is how you're going to build your pipeline, especially too. Just let them know that you're working on positions, you're not sure if they're looking, but if they ever are, to come to you, connect with them, and get to know them, and you'll be able to build more relationships, more candidates with people that are more passive, and that's always going to get you ahead of the game there. Now, before reaching out and winning new clients, something that we do like to do is we do it with every single recruiter day one when they come in, and I think you should too if you're not doing this, is optimizing your LinkedIn profile. It's when you're reaching out to clients or you're reaching out to people, this is how they're gonna be looking at your LinkedIn. Nowadays, everyone's looking at your LinkedIn, and you have to make sure you optimize your resume. Right here we have Jennifer Foster. She's an absolute rock star. She holds her company together, and make sure to give her a follow. She's just amazing. But one of the things that I do love that she has here is current job openings. So whenever someone goes to her profile, she already has the job postings, and all her job postings are in one industry, one sector, one location that she kind of deals with in her recruiter deal box. And if you see here, uh, my specialized recruiting experience lies in the sectors of structural steel fabrication nationwide, measuring commercial ground up ton improvement in the Mid-Atlantic and Southeastern United States. They know what she does, where she recruits, and so on. So I think that's very important. And people, not only clients, but candidates are going to be looking at this. And you want to make sure that you're the go-to person in that location and for those types of jobs here. Right here, we have Kayleen Burke, absolute rock star as well too. She just came out in Ben Mina's podcast. She did very well, and yeah, she's one of a kind, and someone that kind of you define resilience like that and recruitment. That's Kaylin there. But if you see her profile, so senior commercial roofing, floor and restoration recruiter, building teams for tomorrow. She was a former pro football player. She was a breast cancer survivor. She's an absolute rock star. And you can see that her profile, you know exactly what you're going after. This is in the bottom. This is Ryan DeSmith. He's our second employee here at TLO and is still with us. It's great to see him grow. And his specialty is very specific here. public and private works, commercial, industrial, multifamily. And there in the bottom, we will see as well too. We are currently hiring for project executives, project managers, superintendents, estimators, and project engineers. And he's very specific on what he recruits on. He's very specific on what job titles he goes after. And it's always kind of good to kind of see that. So now that you've optimized your LinkedIn profile, um, something we want to do before before going out to clients is setting up alerts. Does anyone here set up job alerts for their specific clients or ideal clients yet? Does no one do this yet? Okay, perfect. So yes, a lot of people. Okay. Now, another question. Do you set up alert for candidate flow on Indeed, on LinkedIn, and so on? Okay. Okay. Exactly. What if I told you around 20% of our placements come from setting up good job alerts through Indeed, LinkedIn, and ZipRecruiter? It's insane, and that's what most people don't know. So, and I'll show you guys a little bit, but before we reach out to clients, we want to make sure we have jobs. We search jobs on Indeed and we search jobs on LinkedIn and ZipRecruiter, whatever tools you use the most, set up alerts to get the jobs in your inbox. Now, on the candidate side, this is why we go over our recruiter deal box. In our recruiter deal box, we have our ideal candidate profile. Within our ideal candidate profile, we have certain job titles that we're always going after. So prime example, Mark makes a lot of those placements. He's within our company. I would say probably half of his placements are through good job alerts and setting up a good automation system there. And how you do this is you go to Indeed, you do your job search. Let's say security technician, and CCTV, just like you would do a search for any industry that you do. Um, Now, after you do that, you'll get candidates that recently updated the resume there. But you don't stop there. Now you go on the top left and you say save alerts. Now, and you could put it between 1 to 3 days in the last week or so on. So now once you set up those alerts, all those alerts are going to come into your inbox. And every day you're going to get that search of those candidates come into your inbox, and you're going to be able to see which people are updating the resumes, which people are coming up to the market, and you're able to do that. And on LinkedIn as well too. If you're doing a search on LinkedIn, you do your regular search, then you're able to set up your alert to get them every single day. One thing I would do is do open to work, and you'll see what people are open to work there. Um, and on Indeed, I believe you have to have a paid subscription. But so you're, or maybe you don't. I'm not really sure, but that's how we do it here. And ZipRecruiter, we do the same thing. So every single day, and we'll go over what our recruiters are doing here. But this is one thing that if you want to have your desk a little bit more automated and always be proactive, this is some things that we always talk about. Set up good alerts on the candidate side and set up good alerts on the job side as well too. Hmm. Now, how to win clients? Let's talk about that because I know that that's one of the most important things. We have to be able to win clients, and I'll go over 3 different strategies that we use to get clients here. And some is inbound business, but to be honest, if I look at our top performers, I would say around 10% is inbound business. You still have to do the hard work. You still have to work hard to get that, though. So 3 strategies. We have the pro market NPC candidates, what everyone is mostly familiar with. We have the cold business development outreach and company job postings, calling company job postings as well too. Which one do you believe does around 60% of our new business here at TLO? Any guesses? Okay. Yeah, quite a few. Yeah. Yeah, I think Andrew, Nicole, Sylvia, you have it right. It's our NPCs. And the only reason it's NPCs is that we are always very, very proactive, not only on seeing what jobs are posted every single day, but also what candidates are updating the resumes, what candidates are coming to market. And once we get a candidate that opens to market, we have a extreme sense of urgency to get them out to our clients. And that's where, if we're strictly focusing on one sector, one industry, and we're constantly getting resumes and talking to people within those, we are always going to be dialing in on that. And we already have good clients that will hire those people and so on. So you always have to kind of keep up with those as well, too. Yeah. And we're going to go over here a few and kind of give you a few strategies that we use as well, too. And you're going to be able to use that. So cold BD outreach. I think BD should always be done every single day, no matter what. And I'll give you a layout of how our recruiters manage that, but it's simple for us. Our cold BD outreach. Find 15, 20 companies within your recruiter deal box. Find 2 to 3 hiring managers from each company. Follow a good sales process, 7-step sales process. I'll give out a link towards the end where you could download our 7-step sales process. Completely free. Take it. If you have any questions, feel free to let me know or anything. But it's pretty simple doing the cold BDR research. The thing about this is that the one error that most people don't do is they don't follow a good sales process and they're not calling these companies. We know that companies get bombarded with emails, companies get bombarded with calls, but if you follow a good sales process and you're doing this consistently every single day, you're gonna find some traction. And if you're not, you're gonna have to look at how your calls are, maybe what objections you're getting, and how to combat them. So we always have to make sure that you're doing this every single day and going over every single thing that you do. Because a lot of people will say, "Hey, I reached out to 15, 20 companies, to 2 to 3 hiring managers, and I follow the process." Okay, how long did you do it for? Oh, I only did it once. Okay. Well, have you do it for 2 weeks straight and make sure you follow every single step and let me know if you don't get any traction there. And if you don't, then that's where we're gonna have to kind of look at see what you're doing wrong or what we could switch there. But if you're following a simple process, you're gonna have some traction no matter what. I think it's I think it's a very simple process to kind of have. DD asks, what technologies does Taylor use in the stack side? Do you incorporate any AI automation in your processes? We use Loxo ATS. Loxo's been great. We've used Bullhorn, we've used Tracker RMS in the past when we first started, and I think Loxo ATS has been great to us. They have a 10 million plus database that we could also search up, and they were able to get numbers from there too. I will say the numbers have been maybe like a 50-50 um, accuracy, but I do like them, and they do implement a lot of AI as well too. Where one of the things that I love about Logso ATS is that you create a good job, and once you create the good job, you could do Logso source, and it'll automatically pull you a list of 50 to 100 people that kind of meet the job and so on. But a lot of people think their answers are going to be answered this way. Your answers and your sourcing is going to be answered this way, but it's not. You still have to call them. You still have to follow up. You still have to be able to sell them. You still have to build a relationship. So, no matter what, having the best AI tools or anything, you still have to do the rest of the work there. But I think Loxo prevents a lot of that. And even within that, so one of the things that Loxo does is you create your job, you do some sourcing, and you're able to add them to your basically job project. But you could add a feature where if you add them to the project, it'll send them an email automatically about your job, a link to the job, how to apply, and everything. So while you're sourcing and putting them into their pipeline, it's already sending the first outreach via email, which is great. We have some success, some not so much, but it works, and I do like that because now instead of doing the 20 people, 30 people sourcing, then following up email, then following up a call, you already have that going on the back end when sometimes we might be through the 11 to 12 person that we've sourced and we already have one or two replies that, hey, I'm interested, let's chat. And that's one of the things that we do. So it does help. As far as finding phone numbers, we also use Zoom Info. Now, Zoom Info is very expensive, and I know a lot of people, give them a lot of, talk back and everything, but I think it's a tool that helps us so much, and and we didn't always use it, to be honest. We used Apollo, we used some other things as well to try to get phone numbers, but once we were able to afford it, it's just worth the investment. And once you have more people, 10, 15, 20 more people, it helps you, it lowers the cost as well too. But right now, I mean, I have no complaints. They've been good to us. They have a good customer service and everything. So we don't mind paying. And honestly, we're not shy from investing in good tools for our recruiters because we want to make sure that if we're charging higher fees, we're giving the best service there as well too. Um, Another thing that we use for sourcing Indeed, we give everyone an Indeed account with contacts and sourcing as well. We do give everyone a Zoom Info account as well. We do give everyone a ZipRecruiter account as well. They have our ATS to source from. And that's pretty much all the tools we use. We're not too fancy. I think at the end of the day, we still have to do the hard work. And as far as mobile numbers, Zoom Info does, I believe, but we actually use Ring Central. Ring Central, we give all our employees a Ring Central account. And the good thing about Ring Central is that all the calls are tracked through our ATS and they're recorded as well too. And this gives us the advantage of, professional development as well too. Some recruiters in the beginning, some recruiters were like, well, why are you recording every single call? It's like, hey, if we're an in-person office, we'd be hearing all your conversations then, and it would help us just kind of go into the conference and coach you. But now it helps us with training. If you're struggling and you're not seeing the success, we're gonna go into your calls and figure out where can we improve on. And this is something that we do on a daily basis with our recruiters and so on. So Ring Central has been a good tool, and especially if you run a remote company, you should have something like that because it'll give you everything to track your employees, but also professional development. I see it more as professional development. Our managers go over calls every single week, and we use them for training purposes as well too. So it's just good. Matt, we do give everyone a LinkedIn recruiter account. You know, I think within our company, we're not shy away from investing in good tools for good people, and that's why we have higher standards within our company. If we could give you a tool that's going to help you build more and we see a return on investment on it, we're going to invest in it. We're not shy. So everyone has here in our company has a top of the line softwares and technologies, but we're also want to make sure that we're doing the 500K plus in billing, the goal that we want to get you to. So it's kind of we're not shy away from it. And I think if you're able to get to a place where you can invest a few tools, let me know. But for anyone that's just starting or looking to get up, we didn't start this way. And we didn't have Zoom Info. We had LinkedIn Recruiter, but we didn't have Zoom Info. We didn't have Indeed as well too. We didn't have ZipRecruiter. It was just old school, hard work, make a lot of calls, try to build connections, referrals, and so on. And we were able to build a million plus. They're the first year doing that. So you could do it without it, I would say. But if you want to use some other tools that help you, definitely look to invest in different tools. And if you use them right, they're going to help you. Our recruiters are expected to by year two. Year one, you still get up and running. We're kind of figuring you out, niche and everything, building relationships. After you start building more and start making some placements, we want to nurture those relationships. And within our recruiters, I tell everyone else, it's better to have 10 clients that, pay 10, 50 to 100,000 than 50 clients doing 20K placements or so. So we want to make sure that we're nurturing those relationships. And we've been able to get a lot of business by, hey, we make one placement. Okay, are they local? Let's go visit them. Okay, you made three placements, you built 6 figures with the client. Go fly out, take them out to dinner, go see their project sites and everything. And now those are year after year clients. So we always want to make sure that we nurture those relationships. So like I said in the beginning, Recruiting comes back to the basics. Build good relationships, nurture those relationships, have long-term partnerships there. Yes, you want to make money, but sometimes you can be too transactional. You have to be able to build those reports with people, become a market uh, subject matter expert, and be able to do that. So, that's kind of what we've been doing here. Second strategy is pro market candidates. I would say 60% of our business kind of comes this way. The other majority is returning clients as well too. But pro marketing good candidates, it's one of the things that we do. And you have to be very, very specific and detailed when you do this because companies are constantly getting contacted by their recruiters trying to buy the same services. So how do you stand out? And I think one of the things that we do here is showcase an A-plus candidate within your network, highlight their unique value proposition and skills, draw notice to your expertise and expansive network, and provide actionable next steps, encourage and open up a conversation. I think this, if you do it right, if you build a good list of companies, 15 to 20, 2 to 3 hiring managers, and you're able to you're able to follow a good sales process, and you're able to follow up through that, you're going to have some success. And I say this just because a lot of the people are doing it. But you have to do the hard work. You have to make the calls. You have to follow the process. Don't expect it to just get replies and have everything done for you. You still have to do a lot of work there. Perfect. And I'll be answering more Q&As towards the end as well too. I know that we're running, I got 15 more minutes and I got a few more things to go over. So now the other one that we do is reaching out to companies because of job posting, reaching out to target companies because of an open job posting. Now this one's one of the most challenging, but it does work. We have recruiters here that will find a good company. We'll find one of their target companies. Let's put it that way. We'll find one of their target companies and they'll see a job posting and they might already have a candidate for them. So, you know, just reach out to them. Hey, John, I saw you having a job opening. I'm pretty sure you got a lot of calls from other recruiters, but hey, I got an A-star candidate that focuses on X, Y, and Z. I've seen you guys around. By any chance, are you the right person to talk to? Just open up a conversation that way. And it's a lot more warmer when you have a really good candidate that way. So we do this a lot and we have a lot of success. And sometimes you have to get creative. I made a post with Caroline the other day how she saw a job posting. She made a placement from a job posting. But what did she do? She called the hiring manager. She left them a voicemail. She messaged them on LinkedIn. Nothing. So what did she do? She texted them. Hey, I'm in the area. I would like to see if I could come by. I saw your job posting. I want to tell you more about us and what we do. He replied within 5 minutes. She showed up the next day to go meet the client in person, shake the hands. We got the opportunity at 30%, and she was able to make a placement there. And it was from a job posting. But guess what? It's not just a job posting. You still have to do other things and get creative around there. So sometimes, when people tell us, well, I called the job posting, I didn't get anything back. Okay, well, did you follow up? Did you leave a voicemail? Did you text them? Did you get creative around it? And we have to do that as well too. So we want to make sure that we're always following up on job postings. And you might think, well, hey, companies that are putting their job post, they have their internal teams, which they do. They do, of course. I worked on it. But internal teams don't have all the resources we have. And some of the resources, some of the best things that we do have is not only the technology, but we have the connections, we have the relationships. Where when I was in corporate recruiting, I was sending out emails and I was posting jobs and I was hoping someone applied. That was what I could do just because I had so many works that I was working at a time. So make sure that when you see job postings, don't get discouraged by saying, okay, they have internal teams, they post their jobs, they probably already found someone. No, build a relationship, sell them on why you, with the internal relationships, the softwares and everything that trust me, we're better when we're subject matter experts and we can provide this for clients as well too. So, you know, uh, being a 500K plus biller or getting there, it's a lot of work. You have to do many different things. So this is one of the things that we like to break down every single recruiter here. At least kind of have a game plan going every single day on what they're going to do and how they're going to approach every single day. And of course, if your desk is heavy in positions, then you're going to be more recruitment focused. If your desk needs more positions, you're going to be more business development focused or vice versa. So this is something that we really want to touch base. And the goal is to always have 4 to 5 qualified positions at all times. And they have to be good positions as well too. So our managers go with our recruiters and say, okay, some of the recruiters will be like, I have 10 positions. Okay, let's go into the positions and see why that you have so many positions right now. And that's okay. Okay. Well, once we go dive into them, the client's working with 5 other recruiters. The position has been open for more than 9 months and so on. So we start kind of qualifying what positions are good. And we end up with the recruiter, hey, you actually have 3 positions, not 10. And this is why. So you always have to make sure you're auditing your jobs and making sure that they're good jobs to work on. Once we qualify those jobs, we've seen that we're able to fill around 50% of them. We're in contingent recruitment, so anything can go wrong. Right now, especially in the market, we've seen a lot of negotiations, a lot of counter offers. So, I'll touch base and once I dive into the numbers, but it's a problem that we're seeing in our industry. Not sure if you guys have been seeing it, but this week we've had the most interviews we've had in company history, which is good. But we've also had a lot of counter offers. Once we get offers, we have a lot of counter offers and people taking other jobs as well too. So it's getting challenging, which is a good problem. I'd rather be in this problem than not having enough jobs to work on, which is okay on. But if you can see here, our employees start around 7:30 a.m. to 8 a.m. They check their inbox, they check their job posts, they renew their jobs on LinkedIn, they check alerts, LinkedIn, Indeed, and ZipRecruiter, and so on. 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. Candidate prospecting. I think you know candidates that you get from job posts or alerts that are open to work or Indeed, call them, get them, see if you can find them, so you can find them to NPC or send them out to some of your clients. 10 to 12 a.m. BD prospecting. I think business development should be done almost every single day. 10 to 20 pro markets, call candidates, call pro market emails, prospect new business. Our recruiters are always proactive and they're always doing business development no matter what. And I think this is where a lot of people slow down where, oh, hey, I've done business development. I mean, I have a lot of recs, so I'm not going to do any business development. Well, let's find the time. And even when you're recruiting, if you find 2, 3 good candidates for one client, maybe one gets an offer and they go through. Now you have 2 other candidates as well too. Where can we use those candidates? You already did the hard work. You already found people. Can we use them to 10, 15 other companies within your recruiter deal box within that allocation? You could get creative around that. That's something that we have our recruiters do because sometimes you find 2 to 3 candidates, they might make the offer to one, but what do you do with the other 2? We don't do anything. So make sure that we're always doing that. 12 to 1 p.m. lunch, of course, whatever you need to take care of it. And 1 to 4 p.m. is scheduled calls, heavy recruiting, heavy recruitment focus, source, and submissions. We want to make sure that we're getting our submissions out every single day and we're preparing. And one thing that I do like and that I think everyone should be doing is organize for the next day. Because if you're coming in the next day and you're trying to figure out what you're going to do, you're already behind. Find some time. We put an hour, but sometimes it's 30 minutes, 15 minutes. Figure out what your plan is for the next day. Because once you come in the next morning, you're ready to go. You're not thinking about what you need to do. You already know what you're going to do. You're going to tackle it and you're going to get going straight away. But take a screenshot of this. I can share it with anyone. We have an exact profile, but I think this is kind of what helps our recruiters kind of stay aligned to what they want to do there. Um, Now, when our recruiters come in, this also depends on the industry and the sector. One thing that we want to do is we want to raise our fees. We provide the best tools. We provide the best. We provide a good service. We're market subject experts and so on. This is why I tell everyone when they tell me 30% is too high. Well, what are you offering to your clients? Are you a subject matter expert? Do you know the industry? Do you know your competitors? Are you providing top of the line candidates? And if you are, and you feel confident with that, you shouldn't feel shy from selling 30% agreements. And ours is 30% of candidates' first year total compensation. So that includes base salary, guaranteed bonuses, vehicle allowances, and so on. This has helped us increase our billings with every single recruiter when they come in. Now, if I tell you we get every single agreement at 30%, we don't. We don't. Sometimes we have to negotiate down to 25, maybe even 22, depending on the sector or the market. But I'm okay with that. We're okay with that. Oh, shoot, we have to negotiate from 30% to 25%. Oh, well, it's not the end of the world. And sometimes too, if you want to build long-term relationships with clients, what we've done in the past, if we start at 30%, then we get to 25, and if they want to be exclusive and they want to give us 10 plus more jobs, we'll build something around them where, hey, if you want to use this for 10 jobs and we're going to be exclusive to you, or we want to visit your site, we want to shake hands, we're willing to have a win-win strategy here. How about if we went at 20%, 22%, 20% for everything for the next 10 placements, and we showcase what we have here, and we want to visit you, we want to see your job site, we want to make sure that we're a partner here long term. And this is something that we really, really want to do here. So make sure that once a lot of people say, have you ever done this? Have you always done this? And we have not. When Simon and I started back in years ago, we were doing 15%. Our highs were 20%. And everyone starts this. I'm not saying that from day one we did this. We did not. It takes time. But once you become a subject matter expert, you feel confident in what you're selling. You know the market, you know the industry, you breathe it, you live on it every single day, you're going to feel more confident. Your clients are going to know, hey, I'm talking to this person who knows exactly what we're looking for and what we do. And once you're doing that, you're able to sell higher fees. And you'll be surprised. We say no a lot right now. But in the beginning, we try to say yes to everything, but we just run circles. And I think sometimes you're going to have to run circles before you get it right. But once you start scaling your book of business and you're able to do that, um, you need to figure out how to get higher fees and structure that out and leave room for negotiation. Sometimes you're not going to get the 30%, the 25%, but if you feel like the client's going to be good and they're going to give you a good opportunity, showcase what you got and start at 22, start at 20%. But this is something that we've implemented with every single recruiters. Even if they had a desk before and they came in, they were like, oh, I was working at 15%, 18%, 20%. Well, hey, we work at 20, at 30% here. Let's negotiate. Let's see what we can bring to the table. And we do that. And we've been able to get them higher fees than before. So it's something that we do touch base a lot. Now, this is completely different for everyone too. We have recruiters doing, 40, 50K placements. So this is going to switch. We have some recruiters doing 15K placements. So it's going to switch as well too. It depends on your sector. It depends on your industry, what you're going to be doing. And this is how you can kind of lay out. But ours is very simple and you could switch it around too. I mean, for us, if your average placement is 20K divided by 500K, that's 25 placements a year. That's two plus placements a month. So what does it take one to make one placement? Dial it back in. Historically, with our company, these are the KPIs that we see. If you're connecting with 50 people a week, and that's a low number, I'm saying, but that's what we see in average. If you're connecting with 50 people a week that are the right people, and you're getting 5 submissions out to your clients a week, 5 or plus, we've seen that 5 submissions, we get around 3 interviews a week. And with 3 interviews, we get one offer. Our interviews to offer have been higher lately, but historically, this is what we've seen. And from every offer, I mean, we have around the 75% offer acceptance. But now, like I mentioned earlier, it's tougher. We might get 3 offers and one might go through, and not because we didn't screen the candidate, we know what the client wanted, but it's because our candidates are competing with 2 or 3 other offers, so we're losing out on that. So now our numbers have to be, a little bit higher. And this switches too. I mean, we have some recruiters that do 50K placements, 75K placements. So these numbers are going to switch as well too. So this is how you could kind of break it down and kind of go, figure out where you're going to be. So even for yourself too, if my goal is to hit 700K this year, okay, what's my average placement? Okay, well, divide that by how much you want to bill. Okay, well, how many placement of that is a month? Okay, well, what does it take to make one placement now? And now you dial it back in, and now you go into that. And depending on what more work you need to do, you got to up your work there. So. This is very simple. And if you have any questions, just let me know. I'm always here to help anyone here. Now, here are some consistencies that we've seen with 500K plus billers, and it's becoming a subject matter expert. Share your jobs on LinkedIn. A lot of people are shy from, putting anything on LinkedIn, which is okay. I was shy back in, 2018, 2019 as well too. I didn't really want to do it, but to be honest, once you start sharing your posts, people start seeing what jobs you have and people start reaching out to you. It's not going to be from day one, but it takes a while. So it does take a while for it to be able to do that. Nurture client relationships. If you make a placement, go meet your clients. It's an investment. Yes, it takes a few $100. It takes maybe a few $1,000, but compared to what a long-term partnership that could be. It's just going to go a long way. And if you want to be different than anyone else, it always comes back to the basics. It's building good relationships with your clients. And I can't say this enough. We fly out our recruiters a lot. We had two people go to a roofing conference 3 weeks ago. We have two more. We have three other recruiters going to another conference in 3 weeks. We have recruiters visiting our clients every other week. Um, Now I know it's expensive and everything, but if you're looking to make a career out of this and not just a side hustle, this is something you're gonna have to do. And I'm a strong believer with this. Always be on office and thinking proactively. I think every single recruiter that's here that wants to do 500K, you have to be on offense and always be thinking ahead. It's that you can't ever get just stale there. You always have to do that. And one of the things that we always see is have a strong sense of urgency. Urgency, time kills all deals. You always have a strong sense of urgency. We have a rule here that we have to present candidates within the first 96 hours. But to be honest, our recruiters are presenting candidates within 24 hours now. So, and guess what? Those recruiters are now going to be $1 million billers that we want to get them to now this year. So it's a strong sense of urgency, always pushing the pedal. And that's what's going to get you ahead there. Now, just to end it here, after 500K billing, these are three things that were implemented to make $1 million billers this year. And we have one or two recruiters that will be on route for this year. And these are some things that we're implementing now. One is sourcing support and candidate funnel flow. We're providing an arm for them to become market subject experts within their niche and be able to funnel good resumes, good people every single day, and sourcing support on whatever roles they have because they usually have multiple roles, and that eliminates hours for them on a weekly basis instead of dealing with that. And we've been able to see that once we provide a few good candidates for them, they're able to screen them and they're able to send them to the clients. That's been eliminating a lot of hours for them. It's been very helpful right now. Two, market subject experts. Build a strong brand around them and the recruiters in their space. We're looking to build our recruiters to be experts within their niche. Whenever they think about steel in recruitment, I want them to think about Jennifer, and she's the one to go to. We're gonna be building a strong brand around them. We're gonna be flying them out to conferences and everything. And this is something that we're doing it with every single recruiter that's coming in here because we want to be nationwide leaders in the AEC space, and this is how we're gonna be doing it constantly. Continuous training and development. Something that we've done this year, and we're looking to build out more is build out training programs. We were able to get two of our managers, one on the business development and one on the recruiting side, delivery side. And now they're helping and coaching our top billers on whenever they get stuck on different things and our sourcers and so on. So they're continually getting support and continually getting constant training on everything that. And we're implementing AI. I'm playing around with AI as well too, how to make it more fast and more efficient. It's not going to solve all our problems, but if it can make us all more efficient in one or two ways, I'm going to take it. We're going to implement it, and we're going to have every recruiter do it there. Um, but yeah, I know I'm getting here tight on time. If you want to connect with me on LinkedIn, feel free to scan the code here. Here's a hot pitch. This is actually something that I learned from one of our recruiters, and this is how she gets 15 to 20 more outreaches a day. And she's able to be very successful that way. That gets her new business. And this is our 7-step sales process as well, too. You could download it for yourself and keep it. But yeah, Ben, all good.
Man, I love the turnout on a Friday afternoon of day five. Real quick, drop an emoji while you guys are scanning these links. Drop an emoji in the chat of your thoughts on all the things that Dante shared. Awesome. And one of the things I'm afraid of, we're gonna jump into the Q&A, and I'm gonna have Dante drop the this link page in a minute. So definitely make
So,
sure you scan all three of the links. Um, I'm actually afraid that we're not gonna have enough time for all these questions. So we'll do two questions and then drop the page so it's back to the focus on you, okay?
okay.
And just for anybody that didn't get the link for the hot pitch and didn't get the link for the PDFs, um, I was actually chatting with Erica, and we have it on the perks section of the Rock the Year Summit page. So it's another place to grab those two PDFs. All right. So from Anna, how do you know if there's enough demand or not? And is the number based on, and how do you measure that?
Who was that again?
Anna asked, how do you know if there's enough demand or not? I think there's like a demand for our market.
Yeah. Um, One of the things that we look at is job postings online and articles of where it's going. We also interview a lot of people, and I talk to a lot of people, and I see where people are having success as well too. But it's not only about what other people are hearing. You kind of have to do your research as well to see where. I mean, shoot, a few years ago, a lot of money was being pumped into building infrastructure. So guess what? A lot of people went into construction side. This year, a lot of things are going to go in different ways. I mean, a few years ago was tech as well too. Tech was booming. Um, but knowing what industry, what sector, you're gonna have to do some research, talk to a few people. It's not like you're just gonna, "Oh, okay, hey, this does well or this doesn't well." You have to kind of do the work and find out from other people and network and talk to other people where it's going. So I don't have like a straight answer for you. For us, it takes some time, and we interview a lot of people. We talk to a lot of people, so we kind of see where the money's going. And also too, talk to hiring managers. They're able to tell you, where some of the things are being allocated. A few years ago, one of the things that got me my best client was I learned that data centers were going to be huge by 2025. So guess what we did? We pivoted a lot into light industrial and building data centers, and it worked out. And that was learning from a client.
Awesome. If you want to take down the screen share, so we'll have the focus back on you. Awesome. And somebody asked, what's your approach to NPCs? Is it LinkedIn, direct messages, emails, cold calls? Do you just give a
Yep.
summary of the candidate or anonymous resume?
Um, if you have clients already, call your clients, let them know, get them excited about it. That's the easiest way. You're able to build that relationship there. If you don't, we do two things. We do LinkedIn emails, a quick summary of the candidates, what they do, and also emails as well too. A good email laid out. And we don't do it to hundreds of companies. We do it very detailed. 10 to 15 companies, 2 to 3 hiring managers, well laid out. And not only that, you'll get some success there, but follow up with calls and reach out to them again. It's not just, hey, I'm going to send out a few emails and see a response. You have to follow up and you have to keep up with them to get creative around there. So we used to do a lot of just emails, then we figured out, hey, why not do emails too? So now we're doing emails and LinkedIn emails, and one will get back to you, the other one won't. And it's okay, but at least you have two different ways to doing it.
And a few questions on ATS CRM if you want to cover that one again.
ATS, we use Loxo ATS. They don't pay me to, publish them or anything, but they're really good. We've had a really good experience. Their customer service is really good. We used to use Bullhorn, and if anyone's from Bullhorn, sorry, but their customer service would take days to kind of get a ticket fixed, and we couldn't really do it. But Loxo has been really good to us, and they have a lot of AI. They just had like 115 million of like Series C funding, and they're doing a lot of AI and they're implementing a lot of different things into their technology. So it's been good for us.
Do you use AI software to identify companies to target? If so, what software?
We don't. That's something that I would like to kind of start learning. But we kind of just go off candidates. Sometimes the good candidates will tell us, hey, like what other companies are in this space? We get some information that way. Google, I mean, we use ChatGPT, but ChatGPT is it's a hit or miss. So, that's why we say market research. It's market research. You still have to kind of dive in and figure out what companies are good, what companies are not, and so on.
Um, Not sure I'm following you. Somebody was asking if you save a job or follow a job. Can you see who's applying to the job that you saved?
No, I don't think we can. I mean, if you do, let me know, but I don't think we can.
Yeah, I don't think there's a way to actually see the who's applying to other people's jobs.
Yeah.
Does Zoom Info integrate with Loxo?
No. It integrates, it doesn't with Loxo. That's something that we're trying to figure out. LinkedIn and Zoom Info, they kind of want you to stick to their platform. So it's a little bit different, but I wish it did. We're able to use the extension on Loxo with LinkedIn Recruiter. And then once we download the phone number through the extension, we get that information into Loxo.
Do you create a list for cold BD, and how do your recruiters find who to call and not overstep each other's toes when they're calling the same company?
They could check in our ATS what companies are currently our partners and what companies are being prospected. And we have rules of engagement within our company. We can't contact the same company within 14 days of contact, just because we don't want to bombard everyone. So whenever they click a list and they do the list, they make sure that they'll see if the company has been contacted before or how long the company has been contacted before. Then after they create that list, we used to create campaigns and do like 50 to 100 reach outs. Now they're a little bit smaller, more dialed in, but we'll create that campaign. Then we could create tasks around there when to follow up. And those tasks will just ring you on your inbox and you could put on your calendar and just go crank those calls there.
I saw a bunch of like Loxo questions dropping in there, so I just shared somebody that works at Loxo. Might be an easier place to answer those. Uh, when you're doing when you're doing pro market candidates, are you doing videos?
No, we're not. But I know a lot of people have success with that. We just haven't yet. If you have success with that and you find it beneficial, let us know. But we haven't yet.
And when do you expect your recruiters to hit the 500K in billings?
So the first year is tough, even if they have a desk with them, because we want to get them dialed in. We want to teach them our process and everything. And we've seen that the first year, they'll do anywhere from 3 to 400K. Maybe we haven't had anyone do 500K the first year, and I'll be frankly honest with you. But the second year is once they get up and running, we get them out to meet their clients. We got them more dialed in on the recruiter deal box. We got them more resources and help to expand on that. And that's when the second year you're able to get that to that 500K plus and so on. But it's typically 2 years. I can't tell you that, hey, it takes us 6 months. It takes years.
Are you hiring recruiters right now?
I'm looking to hire 10 more before the end of the year. We hire like five this year, so yeah, we're hiring a lot more.
And how do they like apply or
You have to reach out to Erica Molina. She's our talent acquisition people lead here within our company. She is amazing. Shout out to her. She actually did the whole presentation with me in practice. So thank you, Erica. So reach out to her.
I just dropped her profile in there. When
Oh, perfect.
when is your compensation structure for paying recruiters and providing what is your compensation structure for paying recruiters and providing incentives?
Like when or how is it?
I think they're asking like how is your compensation structure?
Okay. Yeah. We provide a base salary within our company. And our recruiters are able to make, they have to hit a certain amount of billing, which is 50K a quarter. Once they hit 50K a quarter, they're eligible for commission and they'll be able to get 40% of that. So if you're billing 150 quarter one, 50K makes you eligible for commission. The other 100K, you'll get 40% on that, so 40,000. Our bases are a little bit higher than industry standard, and we do provide you with more tools and everything. I know some people have better packages and everything, but here not only are you getting the best tools, but you're getting the coaching, you're getting the assistance as well too. You have someone that helps you on business development. You have someone that helps you on the recruiting side as well too. So we provide a lot of different resources there.
Awesome. And do you do contingent or retained for your business? And are they usually exclusive or non-exclusive?
Yeah. We've so within our company, we've tried different things. So we've tried RPO, we've tried retained, we've done contingent. Our bread and butter right now is contingent. I would say 15% of our business in 2023 was retained. The other 15% was RPO, and the rest was contingent. But we quickly realized that when you get a retained job and you have a contingent job, our recruiters lose focus on what they want to work on or where they work on. So we don't do any retain now. We'll do some retain if it's a specific client and they want to hire us for us. But for us, it's how can we just get more contingent business and continue to fill that just because we've seen a lot of if we ever did more retained, I'd want to hire a recruiter that specifically focuses on retained, nothing else just because we've lost focus on it. People got confused and everything. We're selling RPO services, which were good. But our recruiters, again, they lost focus on the contingent side. Maybe they had an RPO, the client already paid, so they're not working it anymore. Now they're working on contingent business, and we just didn't do a good job there. So now we're a strictly contingent business. As far as exclusivity, we don't have any exclusivity with any clients in the beginning. Sometimes we do, but now once we start working with them, we provide them a good service, and they want to use us for different locations. We'll build a exclusive partnership, and it's either by lowering our fee a little bit, or we'll kind of work out something. It's a win-win strategy with every single client. And we do have some exclusive clients that only use us for anything that they do. And we've seen a lot of success there. It didn't happen from day one. You have to kind of build up to those.
All right. Like I said earlier, I'm afraid I'm not going to be able to get all the questions that we have. So I
Okay.
absolutely love this though. How do you help your recruiters follow scheduled tasks while being remote?
So we're a fully remote company, but we offer a lot of autonomy here. It's very hard to hide in the recruitment industry. We do have meetings Mondays and Thursdays, and they do have a management meeting with our managers just to kind of line up of what are some wins? What are some challenges? What are some areas that we can help you with? We do have weekly KPIs that we could see, or the managers and myself can see every single day. Like, all right, well, what did this recruiter do this day? What did this recruiter do this week? Did they get 5 submissions? And if they didn't, why not? And we always tell recruiters, if you're not hitting 5 submissions a week, your activity should be off the charts. If it's not off the charts, there's something missing there. What's going on? So we kind of want to figure that out. But every recruiter here, in the beginning, they get training and everything. But once they're dialed in, they kind of know exactly what they need to do, and they get a lot of coaching with us. It's not like, hey, come in and go do the work. It's like, no, okay, Ben, you're here. Okay, well, what are your goals for this week? What are your targets? Okay, how are you going to do that? All right, where can we help you? Where can we implement you? Then at the middle of the week, hey, where are you at with this? Where are you with that? And then we kind of coach them and mentor into that. It's not just they're on their own. They're constantly getting help through us, and they have direct access to Simon and I as well too, that we could always help out in different ways.
All right. I'm like trying to you mentioned 7 touch points when doing cold outreach business development. Is there a software system that you use to help track and manage these touch points?
No, we have in our ATS, we created we were able to customize it for 7 touch points and with the task in there. I will say not many people are able to follow the 7 touch. Sometimes we've seen that people probably get back to us between 3 to 5 touch points. That's kind of like the midpoint. But sometimes a recruiter might already get business and they forget to follow up, or sometimes that the recruiter has something else they have to work on and they don't follow through all 7. So I would suggest have a framework towards that of what you're doing, follow it. But if you have a client that gets back to you, or maybe one of the touch points already got back to you and they want to do business with you, then of course you're not going to follow it. But it's just a good framework to follow and what to do. But we've seen that do 3 to 5. Once you hit 3 to 5, you'll have some type of success, some type of feedback there, whether they're interested or they're not interested, and so on.
Right. We're gonna maybe answer like one or two more. So many questions, guys. You guys are awesome. Are recruiters at your company responsible for business development?
They are. They sure are. Yeah, they're all recruiters who are full desk recruiters. We have 2 sources right now that we're implementing, that they're doing more resume and funneling, and they're each within one department. But that's how we're going to get our recruiters to a million ballpark, because doing business development at all times, it takes a while. So, but yes, every single recruiter is in charge of business development, and we have one manager that kind of does the strategy between each one. So it's not like go do business development. We create a strategy around that.
What's the best software that you found for personal and work email outreach? And do you pay per credit?
Mm, I think I saw a common signal hire. I've used them before; they were good. But as far as email outreach,
I think I just do it. I think we were just looking for like the best contact finders. So I think you
yeah,
covered that one.
yeah. I mean, we use signal hire. It's a little bit it's more affordable, but now we use Zoom Info.
All right, we'll make this the last question. I'm sorry, guys. Guys are gonna have to connect with Dante. But a huge thank you guys for being here. But last question. With the recruiters hitting 500K in billings, how many hours a week are they averaging to be successful?
I wish I could tell you 40, but it's not 40. It's re recruiting, it's they work hard. Trust me, they work hard. So I would say 50 to 60 hours is sometimes with the weeks that they're doing. Sometimes it's more, sometimes it's less. The thing I do like about our company is that we know we work hard. We know that recruiting is a grind. So that's why we give everyone 2 weeks and a half off at the end of the year. They have a limited PTO, and we tell them sometimes go take a vacation. So, we take good care of them because we know they're going to be working hard. So that's something that we do here is like, hey, go take vacations. We know you're going to work hard. We tell them, don't expect this to be 40 hours. It's going to be more. Sometimes you have to take a call before, sometimes you have to take a call after, and so on.
Well, Dante, I just want to say thank you so much. I've actually been looking forward to this conversation. Even before I invited you to Rock the Year, I was like, I got to have Dante as part of this, just because I know like the impact that he's having with recruiters and just the way that you're able to grow recruiters. I think is something that whether you're running a company or you're in an agency or even if you're internal, it's stuff that you can learn from to become the best that you could possibly be. So,
Mhm.
Dante, absolutely rocked it. For everybody, thank you for showing up on a Friday. Day five, you guys have been pounded with information nonstop, and you guys are
Mhm.
still coming. So make sure to follow Dante. Make sure to get those freebies that he shared. And I will see you guys with Courtney in about 10 minutes for the last session of day five. So thank you guys. And thank you, Dante.
Thank you, Ben. Thank you, everyone. Talk soon. Bye.
Bye.